Welcome back, my students. I'm Ellie at English Fun Zone, and today we're going to be talking about those irregular verbs. So let's get started. Last week, I introduced you to two of my students who are working with irregular verbs. And I wanted to show you another student doing part 2 of that lesson. But as I watched it, I realized that some of you might not find it useful, because I think the best way to learn a language is to immerse yourself in it. And it was another young student, so we did a lot of reading and, well, playing games and using irregular verbs without me pointing them out. Here's an irregular verb, here's an irregular verb. There are many ways to learn irregular verbs. I don't know which is best for you, because we all learn things differently. There are a lot of irregular verbs. This website here has a nice list of them, and I'll post the link in the description box below. You can also go to my website, EnglishFunZone.com, and download the list. And there are two things that you can do. You can either try and memorize all of these irregular verbs. You can download the list that I have on my website and maybe block out some of the words and see if you can test yourself and fill in the blanks. Or you can take a story and highlight all of the irregular verbs. Now remember that a verb is action, okay? So anything that a person can do, any action, that's called a verb. And an irregular verb means it doesn't end in ed. Let's take this story and look for the irregular verbs. You can do this with almost anything you're reading. Here is a paragraph from a book. I've quickly underlined the verbs, or action words. Now let's look at the word groups and see if we can find any irregular verbs. Okay, here is the first one. Use to get. Now those words go together, as in use to get headaches, use to get in trouble, and here used to get in lots of silly fights. Used is a regular verb because it ends in ed. Now, get is a verb too. And what is get in past tense? Got. So that's an irregular verb. However, you don't see the past tense here because we have the word used. Used to. And when you have those two words together, the next word will be present, like used to eat, used to play, and so on. Argue about. When you see those words together, you know that the person is going to tell you something about what they fought over. Here it's argue about which game to play. And play is an action or a verb. And we have argue about. So argue about which plus that thing plus to and that action. So argue about which food to eat. Argue about which person to call. And so on. The past tense of play is played. So that should tell you that this is not an irregular verb. And argue is also a verb, and it's a regular verb, right? Because past tense is argued. The next word group is got to. And when you see these words or hear the words got to, the next word is an action word, and it's in present tense. Got to eat, got to sleep, got to go, and so on. Got is the past of get. Right. So this is an irregular verb. The next group is got mad. Which one is the action word or the verb? Mad is the adjective. Got is the verb, and you know it's irregular by now, right? See how reading can help you with these verbs? Okay, so got mad plus an emotion. Got mad, got angry, got excited. And at the end of this sentence is he'd do. Do is the action, and past tense is did, right? The past tense of do is did. Now, please, please be very, very careful when using he or she or it with the word do. We never, never say he do or she do or it do. Never say that. But see that apostrophe and that D? He'd. That is either he had or he would. He'd. Could be either one. But read the sentence. From then on, when he got mad, that's what he'd do. Now put in he had and then try it with he would. Which one is correct? Pause the video to think about it. From then on, when he got mad, that's what he would do. But remember, when it's written with that apostrophe D, you say he'd. And you can watch my pronunciation video on contractions to help you with he'd. Let's look at the next one. Now the words make up is a phrasal verb. What's the past tense of make? Made, right. But we have the word would, which is our past tense. So it's would make up and not would made up. No, no, no. Never, never. Would is the past. Make up. The next one is didn't know how to. And then the action, tell. The words know how to is a great group of words. It tells what the person knows or doesn't know how to do something. He didn't know how to cook. She didn't know how to drive. Here it's he didn't know how to tell her. Know and tell are both irregular verbs. Tell, told, told. And know, knew, known. That participle. It ends in N. That's right. Let's look at the next one. Do you see the verb or action word in the next group? If you said given, you're right again. Awesome. Give is an irregular verb and given is the past participle. I hate that word participle. Do you see the he'd? Is that he had or he would? Pause the video again and read that sentence out loud. Try saying it with he had, then again with he would. Pause. So, if you said he had secretly given, yay! Good job. Here's a secret. Several participles end with en or an n, like written, driven, and seen. So look out for those as well. Not all of them end with en or n, not all of the irregular participles. The more you read, you'll notice that. Okay, the next is went around looking And when you put went around together, you'll need to use ing after that action. Went around talking, went around eating, went around telling, and so on. Went is the past tense of go, right? That's an irregular verb. I think you're getting the hang of this. The next is kept quiet about, and that's a phrase or an idiom. It means you know something, but don't tell anyone about it. Now, kept is the past of what word? Keep, right. There's another he'd in the next sentence. Okay, he'd done. Pause here to see if it's had or would. Awesome. Did you say he had? Yes, because of the word done. And done is a participle and it's irregular. Do, did, done. We've come full circle. And the word felt is the past tense of feel, which makes it irregular. Great job, my students. Now, go check out one of the stories I've posted and see if you can find the action words or the verbs. Circle those verbs, those action words, and then see if they are regular verbs or irregular verbs. And don't forget to download my list at EnglishFunZone.com for free. And I hope that link that I post in the description box will help you with the definitions of the words. This is why I tell my students to learn English in word groupings, because if you learn the groups, then you'll learn these more naturally. They'll be quicker and easier to recall because you know that these words go together. And the best way to do that is to read. All right, my students, it's your turn to decide how you want to learn these irregular verbs. Do you want to memorize the list? Do you want to take away some of the words and fill in the blanks? Or do you want to read more and start circling or looking for all those verbs, all of those actions? You decide, because we all learn things a little bit differently. And if it helps you to write sentences for each of these, great. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That helps you make sentences. Keep a journal. Write about things you did yesterday or 2 days ago or last week. Write a little journal. Just before you go to sleep, make a note or 2 or 3. All right, my students, that's it for this video. So I hope you'll come back again next week because that's right, I'll have another one for you. And next week, it's a requested video from one of my YouTube subscribers who had a question about some vocabulary words. So make sure you come back next Monday. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep practicing. Bye.